we should be going.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome back to Oathbound Roads. It's been a little bit. So, the first little mini arc of the game has concluded, and we're doing a bit of a slight intermission. Still some story stuff to be exposed here, but did we have a brief recap of everything that's gotten this band of 5 weirdos and rejects and outcasts so far? So all 5 of them, through various means, have been somewhat marooned in the snowy, small kingdom of Ibrana as winter crept in early. They met with a strange circumstance when a member of the nearby Wizards College was taken by unknown forces. A few things led to another. There were investigations, a few deaths, a few exposures, a few mysteries. It led them on a chase across the countryside, briefly taking respite, I say with heavy quotes, in the logging town of Bowbarrow. A hag threatened to destroy the town if they didn't turn over the missing girl that they'd found, and, well, the girl volunteered to go, and they managed to trail her to the tomb of Ibra, an ancient shrine of sorts to a cultural hero of the humans of this land. And there's some careful dungeon delving and a few nat ones and minor concussions against rock walls, and
Don't know what you're talking about.
they managed to not only get their way past the strange, bizarre creature holding a hammer stalking the halls by turning it into a snail and throwing it down a hole. They also managed to help a small little elemental creature of some kind find its inspiration and faith for the first time in centuries, and then Hildegard, the human warlock, kind of kicked the hag that took the girl's ass almost single-handedly, and thanks to really good rolls.
Blight is a hell of a spell.
It worked. And with that, leaving some mysteries, as the hag died, the body broke out into a strange red ooze, the same sort of substance they'd encountered before inside of an old abandoned lab. But no answers came from that. But they did have what they came for. So the 5 of them, with the missing, now rescued girl Esther in tow, they made their way back to Hallow Hall, where they've been able to get a long rest, well-earned long rest. And so, we'll say that it's been a few days, an nondescript amount.
Alrighty.
It's morning. You guys can be sleeping or doing or residing wherever you wish. The morning is yours, if there's anything you'd like to do.
You said that Walder got like a pretty bad case of pneumonia from the.
Yep, that is another thing to talk about.
So she's.
You did discover a couple of things when you got back into the town. Learned a little bit about why help was slow to come from the college itself. The Reich had made a bit of a move on you guys and the town itself and the college, and in the process did not realize that there was a very motivated rogue that snuck into their base behind them and took a lot of them out. In the process, he discovered that some people had been taken in for questioning, one of them being Walder, who is quite old and thus not exactly in great health as a result of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He's been on bed rest for a couple of days, not moving very much.
So she's basically just there helping him figure out, get better.
Yep. So, for the moment, as we previously discussed, Anaphora is going to be pretty solely devoted to nursing Walder back to health. which leaves 4 of you.
Vask might be able to do like a little bit because he's got the herbalism kit, so he might be able to come up with a little bit of medicine.
Yep, if you'd like to help with that for a little while, that is absolutely valid.
Just remember, he likes to be naked.
God, I forgot.
You learned that he was good on his word. When the right came in to find him, they found him. They found all of him.
Oh no!
Oh no!
That's part of the reason why he got a bit frostbitten. They didn't bother clothing him.
Oh,
No.
bunch of bastards.
But, he seems, from what little moments of lucidity and consciousness he's had, he does not seem to regret that at all.
He wouldn't.
Are any of the Reich left? Like, were any incarcerated or?
The head
Left
cleric,
behind.
the blind one, has been incarcerated and locked away. A few, alongside just a few others, no more than
Okay.
maybe half a dozen at most.
All right. Is that like a public jail or?
It's in the college proper. It's more or less just a catacomb. There's not much of an official jail here.
All right. I remembered. I got these letters, and Matt is curious
Mm-hmm.
because, of all the Reich that were there, that Reichman captain did seem the most human.
Mm-hmm.
So could she get in to see them or?
I mean, you certainly can go up and attempt to ask. I should also specify as well, just in that span of time, Ruben, the headmaster, has rewarded some of you with some free reign, so you would be trusted to enter into the college. You'd probably need to be guided down to see them at any one point.
Yeah,
There
she's
definitely
not
would be
hiding it.
there definitely would be some hesitation for a moment, a little curiosity as to why, but yeah, I'd say most people would have allowed you down there under watch at the very least.
She's not hiding why, because that's the honest answer. He got smashed by the tomb tapper,
Mm-hmm.
and she found his letters on him, so she wants to know about the sister.
All right. So, as you enter in and are led down into a surprisingly deep down little dungeon of this massive wizard's college, you find some makeshift cells, and within, at first, the Reich are not exactly quick to speak to you. Most of them are just kind of leaning up against walls, hustled down in corners. Some of them are in blankets. The leader, still blindfolded, is just sitting in the middle, trying to do the best intimidating "I will break out" glower that she can. Very much the vibe of that this is an injustice against her.
Yeah, she doesn't smile, but she internally smiles.
Mm-hmm.
She'll come up to the cage and get into the voice. Did any of you know your captain?
All right. Let's roll and see if any of them actually feel like responding. All right. First, there's silence, but you do hear one of them over near the back of one of the cells just kind of lean forward. Just, Captain Oedigan?
That's the one.
Why?
While we were going through the tomb, we ran into a tomb tapper. We were told the name of what it was, right? Before I just say that. Is that something we would have found out since, or?
Actually, I'd say no. Nobody was entirely
Okay.
sure what that thing was.
Could just
We
say
ran
some
into some
The creature.
strange
weird.
giant creature that could move through walls and had a magic hammer. We attempted to save the Reichman who were captured by the hag, but unfortunately it got most of them first, including your captain. She pulls out one of the letters. He had some letters to his sister, I believe. Lori? Do any of you know her?
What concern is it of yours? You hear coming from the blindfolded cleric.
He seemed like an honorable man, and he was taken in a grisly fashion that he did not deserve. I would like. I would. I would prefer if his sister was not left unknowing what happened to her brother. I met your captain, and he was kind to me, even considering that I am a furbolg. He seemed like a good man.
I think I remember him saying that a furbolg saved his sister's life. You hear that one soldier say
shit.
again.
Oh shit!
And you just kind of see some moments, some head movements, a couple of them a little hush, don't talk ish in range and tone. Yeah, I think so. That would explain things. Yeah, it was bandits, I think, back during the war, and an exiled furbolg passed through and took care of him.
Hmm.
I think he's always been grateful for that. I mean, anyone would be. Yeah, I don't know, but that one soldier kind of shuffles forward. I can, if we are allowed to go free, the cleric says, just kind of talking over him for a moment. We will relay all messages of those lost.
Do you know anything about her? Is she in the Reich? Is she a civilian?
She is a miller's wife, I believe. She is
A what?
simply, she is the wife of a miller,
Oh,
living a humble existence, just trying to survive and come back after everything that everyone in the valley lost for so many years.
you can understand that. Do you know where? Just in the valley? Do you have any specifics in case I am ever that way?
Roll a persuasion check.
All right. Not great at these, but yeah, I'm terrible at these. That's the wrong one. Oops. That's the wrong one. No.
Thank goodness for that.
It's still
Much
not
better.
great, but it's not in that one.
Ooh.
All right.
And if they do insight her, she is being legitimate. Like, that guy was like, cool with her, and she's like, oh, I feel bad that his sister now has no idea he's dead.
Quickly, sing your intentions.
Why the fuck you lie?
Fuck you, lying. That's my job, fucker.
All right. So there's silence for a moment, just shuffling. A couple of them whisper among themselves. She lives in Linden. It's a small town, not too far from the Dwestland border. Pretty easy to miss, honestly. But I've been there. I can take the word to her if we're allowed to go.
Thank you. How do you spell the Lindvin?
Lyndon for specific sake.
Notes.
Yep.
And it was not far from the what border?
The Dwestland border.
Westland border?
Yep, it's the southernmost of the southernmost of the three nations there. It's the one that usually you've been there. It's the one where the Hound's Teeth usually takes place in.
Ah, okay. She's not far from the Hound's Teeth.
About 2 days ride north of it.
He nods. Thank you. Like motions for him to like give his name.
Bryn. My name's Bryn.
Thank you, Bryn.
I've not really met much in the way of furbolgs before, but between the captain's words and yours, I'm thankful that you avenged him, at least. He was a good man. He was kind.
I did not get to meet him for very long, but he seemed like it. Kind of eyes up the Reichman for a second. Just looks between each of them. Can I insight the cleric?
If you wish.
I would like to. I just want to know what she's feeling right now. 21.
All right.
She is clearly trying to keep things internal. There is seething anger, but over very likely the obvious fact that they attempted some kind of maneuver. You're not entirely sure what, and it did not work out in their favor.
Yeah, she fucked up.
Yep. You get the sense of the 21 that beneath that anger, a lot of that anger is directed at herself, but also at everyone around her, and there's a little bit of fear motivating it too. Perhaps fear of reprisal, logic would dictate, or consequence.
Have there ever been like tales of people leaving the Reich?
Not really. It's a pretty young organization, and
Okay,
it's growing more than anything.
that makes sense. I appreciate your time.
It's all we've really got at this point.
Well, perhaps.
If
Today
that's
was
all,
a bit-
if that's all, please. I'd rather not have to have any more reminders of my failures.
We all fail sometimes. What matters is what you do now. And to learn from your failures. And learn the right lessons. And she'll go.
Okay. So, you depart. You're escorted by a couple of those Megan, the blue-skinned magical automatons of some kind, as you are led back out. And for that, is there anyone who would like to go next as we move forward? Volunteers? If not, I can roll a dice.
Dice is funnier.
All right, then. Everybody remaining, give me a number from 1 through 3.
2.
2.
Oh, no, 2 twos.
I'll take the one.
Fight.
3.
All right. So that means Raven 2, Garm 3, and 4 1. That makes Sarah 4. Okay. Okay, we landed on 4. So, what has Vask been up to? If there's anything you want to do, anyone you want to seek out.
Good question. Shoot. I guess one of the things he would be doing with some of his downtime, he wouldn't focus all of his time on it, but try to do some potions.
Yeah. There'd be plenty of
that
opportunities to brew things. And I'd say that
Yeah, being with this group sees that we seem to go through them quickly, so he wants to have some on hand. Hello.
Yep, I am. I'm just responding to something real quick.
Okay, sorry.
So, yep, I'd say that you'd have a pretty easy time getting into the college, and they'd let you have access to some of their basic alchemical stores and the like. There's no semester going, and a lot of the stuff they have is dried, but some of their fresher ingredients are probably going to spoil by the time winter's done, so they wouldn't have any reason for them to not be used.
Good. So, herbalism kit.
Yep. And what specific kinds of potions are you going for? Just mostly healing ones?
Yeah, mainly just healing ones. I don't know if you got inspired for something else, maybe.
Okay.
I really am kind of blanking on what Bess could be doing. I wasn't expecting to go second.
That's fine. You can skip and we can go to someone else for a bit. So we can just have it be that Vask is largely
I mean, he's kind of obsessed with finding the third key, but that seemed to be frustrating people whenever I brought it up, so I don't want to.
it's not frustrating.
No, it wasn't frustrating.
Nah.
No.
Just
Like-
we don't have any leads on it really.
There's no leads. I mean, if you wanted to go back down to that little laboratory and search around it again, see if you found anything. You also know that the Reich had set up shop and searched it as well, so there's a chance one of them could have found something.
Go get that key, Vask.
Yeah, fucking get
I
that
don't
key.
have locate object.
No, but you can investigate or get help to investigate.
If you want to ask for someone to go with you, I mean, last time you were down there, you got bushwhacked a couple of times. You specifically.
Yeah, there was that spider.
There was that.
Yeah,
player,
and he does have other reasons to be interested in that lab, but he already has that book. So, actually, yeah, regarding the journal, that like one of the only things they recovered before
Mhm.
everything got eaten by the slime.
Fucking
Yep.
ooze.
The Ichabod journal.
Mhm.
Has he already had a chance to go through all that, or is
Over the course of the
remember
long
if it
rest, yeah,
was-
I'd say you'd have had enough time to have read through it all.
okay? But yeah, Vask, if people would be willing, he does want to go double check that for the key and other stuff just in general. Now that there's not a deadline.
Yeah.
So, if anybody wants to go back down there and investigate, you were told by Ruben that he's not going to be opening that sealed door yet. He's waiting until everyone is up to full strength as much as possible, just in case there's some final trap or anything in there, some final
Yeah,
trick or
fair.
anything left behind. But when that time does come, he wants everyone involved to be there to see, make sure that if there is some other thing, because though there haven't been any incidents in the few days that you've been back and everything seems calm, you're seeing students start to come out a bit more now. Turns out a lot of them were under curfews and lockdowns for a little bit there.
Mm.
Makes sense if there were mage hunting abominations showing up in the streets.
Yep. So things seem to have gone back to normal, but considering how many times things came out of nowhere and surprised, Ruben very wisely is not assuming that this is completely over yet. And very much would like all of your help in that when the time comes. But either way, if you want to go down there and search, feel free. If you want to RP things, if you want to just make the rolls and move forward, I'm good with whatever.
Well, actually, Vask might one day use his sorcery points to do detect thoughts and try to interrogate the Reich if they have discovered anything of interest. You know,
That's a valid path to take.
keys, research material, anything they might have recovered from there without telling, and using detect thoughts to see if they're lying.
All right. Well, if you want to do that, that is absolutely fine.
Would that be an insight or not?
If you're doing
I have a
detect,
0 in insight.
I'd give advantage if you're trying to do detect thoughts in that. Well, if you succeed in going deeper, especially, but very least it would affect the
Mhm.
DC.
I would
I
have
mean,
to roll
honestly, I
my mini.
mean, would you, if you found out that Nat was going there on her own, well, that stuff's
Yeah,
already
that's what I'm
technically done
thinking.
with.
Yeah, Vass might have tagged along actually,
That's fine.
but
Yeah, if Nat's all
if
right with
that's
that.
okay,
Yeah. Instead of
Right, so-
leaving, she just steps aside so Vass can have his conversation.
Yep. So you, when you finish your conversation and wait, Vask, you step up.
oh, so I actually have to think of something what to say. Shit, why do I keep doing this to myself?
Ah,
So
the sorcerer. The leader pays notably more attention, in spite of the blindfold. Clearly, is aware of your presence and that it's specifically you.
yeah, would have used detect thoughts like before stepping forward. So,
Mm-hmm. Just reading
but-
surface thoughts for now.
yeah, if anything seems interesting, but it was so our investigation into. Of course, right when I start talking is when the kids start screaming. But it seems that during both of our investigations, we may have gone over the same areas and not really collaborated our notes. I think we're both still interested in figuring out the root cause of all this, even if the current threat seems to be lulled. And Vask is going to try and interrogate them and see if anything pops up. They've got, like, they're like hiding something somewhere.
You trying to probe deeper or just going with surface thoughts?
If anyone has surface thoughts that seem relevant, he would go deeper. Yeah, but he's especially paying
Wow.
attention to the boss.
Yep. You don't get much out of the half dozen or so rookies and foot soldiers. Most of them seem, from what you saw and what you've heard about the changeling rogue that broke in there, Sam, he probably just spared these guys because they posed the least threat. For the large part, their A squad is largely a bit the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
You get largely just fear, confusion, some questioning here and there a little bit, and then immediately attempting to silence that questioning internally. The one that spoke with Nat is remembering that specific village that he mentioned. Just kind of retracing steps about getting there and kind of wistfully thinking about going back home and hating the cold. They seem occupied.
Mm.
The cleric, her mind, she is very much internally questioning you, like, say, why the sudden concern now? Say, I thought they saved it. I thought they took care of all this. Don't tell me they need something else. Say, don't tell me there's more going on here. And so immediately trying to think of ways to potentially work this to her advantage a little bit, but not much in the way immediately forthcomes. Immediate thoughts don't seem to go to, oh god, there's a thing that he knows about.
Okay. And so Vask would ask, it's like, is there anything that you may have discovered that you didn't inform the college of? I almost said museum.
You don't work for the museum, motherfucker.
That one definitely gets an immediate suspicious reaction internally. He's hiding something. He's looking for something. What? But what? What is his goal here? There's some slight remarks about somehow, in spite of the blindfold, you can see internally there's a pretty clear, slightly hazy picture of you, like a camera lens is covered in fingerprints and grime and it's kind of gotten a soft focus to it almost.
Hmm.
Neat.
They've got blind sight of some sort.
So, what? Something about those tattoos is so strange. Never seen anything like that before.
And Vask thinking to himself, although Nat might actually, Nat and him probably have a connection, the mental link, since they went in together. So she might actually hear him go, "Yeah, and if everyone's lucky, no one will see these on anyone else again." But that's mostly just like thinking to himself. But he goes, mainly, I'm curious to see if there's any clue on who is collaborating with the witches. I'm sure you are very curious about that as well, yes? Any little detail or clue?
From what I've been
might be
told,
useful.
that witch murdered most of my men. And then you
And
just stumbled in and took care of her with little effort, at least according to the headmaster of this place.
Oh, there was quite some effort,
Hmm.
and I thought you would be appreciative of us at least getting some form of revenge for your men.
They have been avenged, and for that, yes. I and I can work through just about anyone, not just our own. I don't know anything about that. The place had largely been turned over by the time we investigated. And you here internally, only thing we found were the remains of that damn changeling.
Hmm. Okay. Well, even though I'm terrible at this, can I insight to see if they're like
Yeah, sure.
not? I know this doesn't really seem like it would make sense with detect thoughts, but
Me?
a two.
Makes
Never
sense.
mind. Or wait, would it be advantage since I'm using detect thoughts?
I would allow advantage for this, for at least this insight. A
All
little
right, not
better.
much better.
A little better.
Yeah, but she might roll bad, you know.
Yeah, you get the vibe that she's not really hiding that. She seems kind of disappointed. You get the vibe that she wanted to be the one that cracked this case wide open, basically. And there's a bit of disappointment, a bit of religious self-loathing, feeling unworthy and all that. Confusion, wondering why a gaggle of mercenaries got ahead of her and managed to save the girl when they couldn't.
Because you suck.
Yeah, I don't know what else Fast would do. It's not like they had
You don't
any
seem
lead
to,
on any keys.
That
You
does
don't
tell
seem-
us, yeah, that they probably didn't find it.
Yep, that's the vibe you get from that. The Reich did not find a third key of any kind. They didn't seem to find much anything promising. You guys largely turned that place over and got what was worth getting.
Since this is this is a bad idea, but since I have the spell up
Well,
and they're there, I'm going to delve deeper and just see what else they know and like just deeper insights on like their entire mission and why they came up here and anything
Mhm.
else that might be problematic for us with the Reich.
Okay. All right then. So that is a saving throw. I think it's a wisdom one. Let me make sure.
Yes, 17.
All right. She's a cleric,
I'm
so
not
we'll see
gonna
what
mind
happens.
sliver. Yeah, I know I should mind sliver her first, but that'd be fucked up.
yeah.
Let's see. Hmm. Okay, let me read up here.
If I really want to be an ass, I could Silvery Barbs or save. Wait, I think I can. Wait, can Silvery Barbs do it against saves?
I mean, it's
No,
just
no, it's-
disadvantage on an attack roll, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Nat would certainly not care if
Oh,
you
wait,
did,
no.
but
One reaction which you make when a creature you see within 60 feet of you succeeds on attack roll, ability check, or a saving throw.
okay.
Silvery Barbs is fucked.
Mm-hmm.
It
It
kind of
really
is,
is.
yeah.
Yes, it is.
All right, are you burning that slot?
Does it seem like they resisted the mental probe?
Yeah, but actually she did. She rolled pretty high.
Yeah, I'm gonna do Silvery Barbs. Just
All right, let's see what happens.
tattoos they were so interested in kind of flash with power.
All right,
Mhm.
you step up. The tattoos start to kind of glow and hum a little. So at
Yeah,
first,
the tattoos go from the normal blue to actually a silver, just
Oh,
because of the
fun.
name.
fun.
Yeah.
All right. So they take on a mercurial appearance. And as first as you probe in, you can feel the eye contact from behind the blindfold meeting your own, and you for a brief moment feel it's not nice to pry. But then for a brief moment you get a flash of bright light and a vision of something with multiple eyes, like a lot of them.
Oh.
Then your tattoos flare, and though she is aware of it, you get past her defenses very quickly and get inside. I'm gonna have to DM you what you find.
Yeah, this is something Vask does not like to do, and like Nat could see him just scowling and just feel that like disgust radiating off of him through the link.
Okay, so you're gonna get a lot of this information very quickly. Just for the sake of not slowing down the game, I will say the effects of what happens and what happens around you as people suddenly notice this happening, because it is very clear that there is a contest of wills here, and it really looks like you start seeing blood flow out from beneath the blindfold.
Oh,
Very-
jeez.
Ooh,
It's okay.
what?
They're super Nazi Catholics. They're
Yeah.
into that stuff.
No, fuck these guys.
Super Nazi
They're into
Catholics.
that stuff.
Super Nazi
Their
Catholics. Yeah.
aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like,
Nat is watching this with like interest, but she is making no moves to stop it.
I kind of see the Reich as having the same aesthetics as Blasphemous.
Kinda, yeah.
The church
Blasphemous.
from Blasphemous.
Blasphemous, a little bit of Darkest Dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so while I'm DMing, you
Also
can
Scarlet
see
Crusade.
that too. Yes, you can see her writhing a little bit, shaking. There's seething anger and venom, but she is not able to hide anything from you in that moment. You can see people starting to freak out. It's like, what's going on? What are you doing? You seeing people start to raise their voices. Some of the soldiers getting up, and you get a lot of information very quickly. What you said you were just kind of looking into what their actual goals and motives here were?
Yeah, because I don't know. It seems convenient for them that they were here when this happened. I know they were pursuing
Mm-hmm.
Esther, right?
Yep.
Yes.
I know they were pursuing her, but the timing seems to be a little too accidental, and I want to see what else maybe the other objectives they have in the region.
Hmm. All right. All right, I got a decent bit to type out here.
Vask is risking quite a bit with this, I realize. This is what happens when you let me go early on and stuff.
Hey, no,
See,
this is
Nat's here. She could stop you, but she isn't. So
I don't think Nat's particularly upset about this.
no, not at all. she wouldn't really like. She wouldn't feel great about watching him torture somebody, but she's like, oh, he's like going in her brain. All right, whatever. Maybe there's something.
Yeah.
Maybe there's actually something useful in there.
And that telepathic link, there's that disgust, but also like a guilt, very heavily tinged in there. It tastes like guilt.
When she feels the guilt, she'll say to him, oh, "Don't worry about it. Don't feel guilty. She's murdered countless innocent people. She tried to take over. She tried to attack the college. She tried to kidnap Esther. She does
And
not
you hear the
deserve."
voice. You hear him reply. It goes, "Does not mean I should enjoy utilizing such methods."
I'm not saying you enjoy it, but fuck, if she had the chance, she'd just fucking. If she had the choice, she would be much less gentle than you are being.
And I'm guessing, looking into her brain, I'd probably agree with that statement, huh?
Oh, there's definitely a lot of anger, a lot of memories, a lot of burnings.
Yeah.
She's taken
Listen.
part in some things.
Listen, Vass.
She was a veteran. You get to see that. Like, how far back and deep do you go?
I mean,
She didn't
mostly
roll in that.
focusing on current relevant.
Yeah.
Intel.
She didn't roll in that one, so you're not going to get her whole life story. But
Yeah.
She does not deserve your sympathy. I would not condone you torturing her, but I think a bit of a headache is the least of her worries. Does he see her wicking anybody?
if you delve down and looked for it, if you're just delving into actual motives and more
you-
recent memories, you
You
definitely
said there
know.
were glimpses of burning, so yeah, Vass kind of assumes that maybe some of those can't. Maybe those flames were can.
You do know. This woman is a true believer. She is a hardcore zealot. She has. Her faith is absolute, and you will know that she has seen something, and you get a, judging by that brief flash of that thing with multiple eyes, you're not entirely sure what.
Oh, were they red eyes like what I saw with Nern?
No, every single one of them was a different color.
Oh, that's weird.
And she's missing her
Cool.
eyes. Okay. Yeah, they sacrificed their eyes to whatever their god is. Awesome.
Maybe? God, they might.
Some of them might, you don't know.
Wait, is the symbol of the? Is it? I'm
It's-
misremembering. Is the symbol of the Reich an eye?
It's a sunburst, but it can be interpreted looking
Sunburst.
like an eye. It has a
Ooh.
circle in the center.
Yeah.
Double meeting.
They looked at the sun and blinded themselves by the sun. I don't look. Okay, sorry, I'm just rambling now to myself because it's like, oh, this
I
is
know.
a neat inverse of the look into the abyss and the abyss looks back, look into the sun and the sun will look back and blind your eyes out of your head.
It's a bit Old Testament, yeah.
I dig it.
All right.
You look up at the sun, it looks back. The fuck you staring at?
My eyes!
You're not
Get your
gonna win
eyes,
a
boy!
staring You're not gonna win a staring contest with the sun.
Makes me think of that old Mystery Science Theater bit. Just, I wonder if there's beer on the sun.
Take a good long look. It's the last thing you'll ever see.
All right. One last bit of detail because she did roll just low enough to where you get a bit of this.
Vasquez, Toy Story with the T-Rex going, great, now I have guilt.
And Nat's like, no, fuck that. No, fuck these guys. Oh! I just thought of something that she actually should ask these guys.
You're still there.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait after the brain fuck is happening. That was a
All
terrible
right.
choice of words.
I've sent the
Oh.
what you get out of it.
Do I know? Who was,
Oh.
do I have any names involved with the thing that happened to Nat's friends?
You don't remember. You just know the image. You remember the guy that broke in and found you. He was a giant of a man, and there was fire coming out from beneath the plate mail.
Oh shit! All right.
Mm,
Okay.
mm. This is some heavy stuff. So Vask, well, after ripping this out of her mind, will scowl and kind of turn his back to the cell and then look to Nat and go, "We probably need to talk to the rest." And Ruben.
Raises an eyebrow. All right.
You just hear the cleric woman breathing heavily, clutching at her head. There are growls and faint muffled screams of just pure anger, betrayal, very much feeling violated.
Oh, fuck you. Maybe you shouldn't melt people alive.
The other Reichman are running over, checking on her, what's happening. There's yelling, there's... What did you do? There's lots of concern, some anger. And if you wish to stay, you may stay. If you wish to go, you may go. But I don't think you're getting much more information out of them.
Yeah, when they yell at him, it's like, "What did you do?" He kind of like looks back at them, his eyes still kind of glowing, and he goes, "I made her tell the truth for once," and then leaves.
Ooh.
Nice. Solid burn.
Nat pushes off from the wall she was leaning on, turns to follow him, and she stops for a second. Who's the man in plate mail with fire beneath it? She waits for like Vask to walk away a little bit before she asks
Okay.
that.
Roll persuasion with disadvantage.
Yeah, that's entirely fair.
Vask just pulled a big no-no.
That's gonna be that one. That one.
3.
3.
Okay.
All right. No, one. Oh, 19 on you is fine.
Yeah, that 19 looks real nice. Just you, that same guy who originally was being kind to you, just fuck you, just go.
Oh. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, fuck these guys, but
The Reich will
I'm
remember
still
this.
looking at that one guy and just, thank you. And we'll leave.
All right, so with that, you two have some very juicy information on your hands. You can share that with Nora privately if you wish and say that Vask is telling Nat that on the way to meet up with the others. In the meantime...
Okay, so, yeah, Nat/Jetta just gets basically a recreation in her brain. Here you go. I'll just link it to you.
Okay.
Yep. So you're privy to that. So, Hildegard or Garm? Anyone want to go first?
How you feeling, dude?
Sure.
All right. So, Garm. Have you been largely sticking to your own path these last few days and not hanging around the group very much?
Yeah.
I'm not too shocked by that. All right. So, for everyone else, as all you know, based on what you have told me, you have largely been looking into where the old hunters have taken up camp. So,
Yes.
getting some leads, which isn't too hard, from Rousir, and actually getting to ride Biter for the first time in a long time. You make your way out. It's actually, they are setting up camp out near the older part of town, not far from where you fought the Woads. As you approach, you definitely get the scent in the air from the wind that they're coming. The weather is... I should actually change the music, sound effects, now that we are no longer in that basement. There we go, that's better. So, Garm, riding out alone, your dark armor standing in stark contrast to the heavy winter. Their camp isn't too hard to find. There's smells of cooking meat and a lot of it. Some talking, conversing in languages you both know and don't. And as you get in closer, you feel Biter kind of tense and look around, ears twitching. Not out of fear so much as just a sudden awareness of something. Just kind of snorts and shakes a little bit of snow off of his flanks.
Gives a very gentle scritch of the mane.
His tail wags for some reason.
As he kind of looks around to see if Biter's picked up something he hasn't.
Let's make a perception check.
Oh boy. Let's see if my roll 20 will cooperate this time. It did load faster today.
Hope so. Your mic's coming in through good, so that's a good sign too.
Yeah.
Yes. Boy, I forgot I should have pulled up the character sheet beforehand. That always takes a while on this laptop.
Yeah. Well, it's not a huge deal if it's going to take a bit.
Yeah.
All right, so as you're approaching, you see Biter tense up. With the wind blowing somewhat chaotically as you're getting closer to the coast, you don't notice at first through the snow drifts and things moving around, but you do see various shapes moving between the old abandoned buildings and realize that they've been walking alongside your path for a little bit now. Not too shocked, but nothing aggressive about it. And as you get into the head area, you see a roaring fire setting up some barricades of stone that have been recently moved from the abandoned buildings to provide some shelter from the wind. And standing closest to the fire, you see the gray-haired, dreadlocked visage of Lusan, their leader.
Garm will dismount Biter, and he's not going to hitch him up or anything. He can take care of himself.
Yep.
And he'll approach Lusan, snow crunching underfoot.
Wondering when you was going to appear. Says, not just looking at the fire, not making direct eye contact. You look well.
And you as well.
That's good. That's good. So, if you don't mind my asking, you seem lost, boy.
I am lost. I was sent here to find another priest of Gortalk, but she passed some 2 years ago. I wandered to the college. Not sure what else to do about it, and Then got wrapped up in all that.
Yeah, all that.
Provided purpose, at least for a little while, but now the hunt is done, and I'm back where I started.
Was it a good hunt, at least?
He does not elaborate.
Always a few like this.
The fallen members of your order. Have you seen to them?
Hey. Didn't bury. Decided to burn them. Those who fell in other senses, well, they're out taking a walk for a time.
I
You
noticed.
encountered that one of you. The one with the fear in their eyes. Tell them not to go near the east woods. Garo's learning to control the inner beast again. Slipped away from him. Couldn't have.
Understood. She was a veteran of the Hound's Teeth. I understand.
Most of us are veterans of the teeth, boy. You're a veteran of the teeth, but that fear's not in you. And we both know why.
Nothing so terrifying as the one you see in your reflection.
They teach you to say that growing up. Did you figure it out on your own?
Does not
See, this
elaborate
is-
again.
Touched a nerve. Not too shocked. I am glad you came, though. Just kind of turns and starts walking towards just a little alcove between a couple of the abandoned buildings. Leans up against it out of the wind. Lets out a long, heavy breath, steam cloud kind of rising up into the air. Good that you're off the leash. Our kind deserves nothing less. Even if you don't know what to do with it. In time, you won't be so afraid of it. Everyone is for a time, but... So, what's next for Garm, Hound of the Starfeller?
I don't know. I thought maybe coming here would... I don't know. At least I wanted to know if this was where you were planning to hold up.
Aye, that it is. Good place. Far away from the town. It's fortified. So tell me, that group you're with, they still don't know, do they?
No.
Especially if they really figured as much now, after what happened.
I do not blame her for her reaction, but still, the look of that fear, it confirms what I already know.
Kind of half grimaces at that a little bit. I bet they did whip you, did they not?
When I deserved it.
Oh. I'm going to add someone else to my revenge list.
I've worked with folk of your order before. You're the first one I can honestly say I liked. Gortog's useful. That's exactly how he'd describe himself. Problem is, he ain't much of a teacher. It's more of a throw you into the fray and expect you to know what to do sort of thing. Which is great. If there's a wolf in you. If there's a hunter with instinct. Don't understand, most of us aren't born with that anymore.
He is certainly cryptic.
Deliberately so. I appreciate the good, but we trust our own blades. At least we know each other and we know what we want. They may not look it and they may not say much to you. These are my boys. My brothers, my sons. We're a pack. We hunt what we wish. We kill what we wish. And we make the world safer for doing it.
Yes. That is my purpose as well. To hunt what needs hunting.
What happens and what you think is hunting is different than what they tell you is worth it.
He kind of grimaces as if he hadn't considered that before.
You see, there's a thing about running by faith. I don't take much, well, I don't have much faith in it. Faith often comes down to listening to what you're told. It's the talk of someone who knows only the leash. You know what you can trust? Your senses. Your instincts. You got them. Don't be afraid of them. What are they telling you now?
My senses tell me that I need purpose. I need answers. That I'm stuck here. Left in the cold, alone.
You recognize that was
That's
very likely a deliberate act, yeah?
It has crossed my mind. That's a
Star fella's
finally.
known for many things, but working with our kind's not one of them. You draw power from him. That not denying that. Why, fuck if I know. Ah, too heavy. You're welcome here, long as you need be. You can hold up here indefinitely and wait out the winter if you like. If you really like, come. My office still open. Come south with us to the Moonhold, Whitemore Valley. It's a long trek, but it's a good place. Safe. Folk there know better. Or do you think another road awaits you? Well, that's for your senses to decide. All I know is you're good. My senses tell me that. You just lost. And I've seen that look many times. Every single one of these boys had it. I had it.
When did it click for you then? When did you know who you were?
And I let it free. When I let it off the leash. When I realized we were one and the same. And that punishing myself for that was just holding myself back.
always afraid of that. Afraid of losing control.
It ain't easy. First time's always a rush. It's intense. First time you try to do it on purpose, especially. The harder you pushed it down, the harder it's gonna want to break free. Just gotta remember. It just wants to live. It just wants to hunt. It just wants to follow its senses. You just gotta convince him that you both want the same thing. I think that sounds easier than it is. When we do it, it's in a wood, old forest full of all manner of things that no one's gonna miss. Here, though, children. Children who aren't ready for the real world. All they got waiting for them's a velvet cushion and a throne somewhere, writing scrolls for rich, fat fucks all day.
Almost as a to relieve some tension. What is Biter doing at this moment?
Spider is currently just reached down over to whatever, and it looks like a boar that they had hanging on a spit over the fire, and it's just reaching over the flames and has ripped one of the legs off of it, and it's just gnawing on it near the coals. The hunters are looking with just, God, that's a cool horse kind of energy.
They
Indeed, my people.
Wish my
Hell
horse
yeah, a horse that
named
can take
ate
care of
small-
itself.
It's like, I wish my horse ate small animals and maimed things on the regular.
I mean,
That's just a horse.
Spider's just a little more honest, is all.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't understand that most animals see him as prey.
To their
That's their
detriment.
mistake.
He just goes,
They don't
"Oh,
understand that he thinks the exact same way about them.
Cool." He just goes, "Oh, cool! I don't have to chase it down."
Oh, you're approaching me? Biter's the equivalent of call the ambulance, but not for me.
Very much so.
Might I ask, what is your plan for the night of Red Crossing?
Yeah, that is coming. Found a building here, old one. Has a cellar. Plan is to lock ourselves in for the night. Seal it up. We know better than to hurt one another. We'll have fed well. Empty bellies tend to motivate a lot.
Y'all, they might know better, but Garm doesn't necessarily.
Mhm.
He hasn't let the dog out enough for it to play nice with others.
Don't worry. I've tangled with more than a few upstart webs in my time. I've got pretty good faith in what I got inside. You're welcome here. Be glad to set you up for a time. Come morning, well, none the wiser. Those folk you were riding with might suspect something, though, with you being gone during that time. You ain't giving them much in the way of signs, have you?
I don't know. One of them, he reads minds.
Dangerous business, that. Well, if he ain't ratted you out, ain't showing signs of fear around you, that's a good thing either way. Means you got time to think of something to say, or time to plead your case. Time to get away if you need to before the inevitable. You never know. It's a big world. I don't know what path there is for you. I've offered mine, but wolves tend to go where they please. Not every pack has room for everyone. But you're welcome to try.
Garm does think back to the rather strange and unfamiliar feeling of camaraderie with the group he's been traveling with.
Mhm. A bit of a smile there. Almost. You like it, don't you?
A little.
Aww.
Claps you hard on the shoulder there. Very strong, very, very strong blow there. It almost hurts, but even beneath the armor. I knew you could take it. Well, Gom, Hound of Gortok. I don't know what path's ahead of you, but I pity whatever motherfucker's in your way.
I best be heading back.
If you wish. We're going out for a hunt later, if you like. Could be a chance to cut loose, get some practice. Or, if you got another pack to get back to, well, don't want them to think you're cheating.
Garn, you slut.
Walks back over to Biter.
Biter just looks over, half of the leg hanging out of his mouth.
Yeah, he just makes the sound and walks off. He won't ride while he's eating.
Just snorts, looks over at Luson, just nods knowingly, and starts cantering off after you. Love the horse. Gotta admit that.
He kind of turns and he's walking backward and he just kind of shrugs.
So what are you doing?
If you die, can I keep him?
He goes where he wills.
Yeah, fair enough. Should have thought of that. All right, so with that, you decide to head back to town.
Yay.
All right, that for the moment leaves Raven's adventures with Hildegard. So, as has been said, the first night after your fateful encounter, how is Hildegard feeling about everything that transpired during the battle with the hag?
Uncomfortable to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
She's been holding it all in for a while. The weird bullshit with Laug, the repeating phrases, the weird ability to speak hag randomly.
Mm-hmm.
She's been holding all that in, and when Raug popped back into existence, probably asking for popcorn, the dam broke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She probably cried the entire fucking day, to be honest.
Oh, I'm sure that was kind of creepy.
Yeah, and she didn't let the birds literally out of her arms.
Aww.
Yeah, they didn't love that, but they understood.
They're gonna have to fucking deal with it.
They just, if anybody who ever walked by and bore witness to Hildegard looking like the subject of a My Chemical Romance song.
Wow.
Oh god, yeah, I forgot. I always forgot the detail. You know, her tears are like watery, ashy color.
Yep. I
So,
didn't
yeah,
forget.
She looks like just makeup ran everywhere.
Looks like Evanescence is singing about you somewhere right now.
But yeah,
Oh my
like I said,
god.
There are
the
so
dam-
many YouTube AMVs.
God
So many.
God.
You look like you killed a mime.
With her teeth. But yeah, uh, like yeah, she probably cried it like for like 3 hours and then off and on the rest of the day. Just all the the panic, and the anxiety, and everything just crashing out at once. She got like after an immense emotional bout, you tend to either just be exhausted or get over it. Like, oh god, that felt good.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of in the middle.
Not sure which way she's going with that. Yeah, so
Yeah.
y'all knew better than to approach this inconsolable child for a little while. Just let her cry and mope and hug her birds. So that's why she's not gone much of anywhere.
Yeah.
So
She just got a lot of questions, but yeah.
So I'd say in the guild hall, everyone else has gone their separate ways for the moment. No real words on it. Is there anything that you seek or wish to do once you have gathered yourself enough?
Since she's alone and like there's no one trying to watch her, her first instinct is to cash in that fucking favor and try and get some.
Yep.
See if the necrotic presence in her body could be exercised, or she's given up hope on restoring her vision, but that's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly just her body's fucked. She wants something healed or some progress made.
Okay. Yeah. To be stated for folks listening, part of the reward conditions for returning Esther, Ruben has granted anyone in the group who wishes it access to the college library, and not just the wing the students are allowed into. You're allowed access to a lot of stuff the teachers typically are allowed. If there's any information or magical knowledge you're seeking. Not everything is open. There's some stuff there that is not meant for mortal eyes. That is not kept there for reading, but to be sealed away.
Typical magical
like
library.
to take a look eventually.
Yep. I mean, if you
yes,
want
the adult reading content.
it's guarded by a sequin barrier.
Oh, so it's in the back of the library.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so her main goal is to get any information, if there's any experts on healing, or specifically healing necrotic taint, for the lack of a better word.
All right. So you're allowed free passage into the college, no barriers of resistance.
Yeah, she's going probably to the library first.
Yep.
So
they're aware of you. You're shown the way by one of the Megan servants walking about. If you just state that that's where you'd like to go, it knows that you're allowed to go there.
Awesome.
So let's change the music once again, since we're not outdoors.
Every time, I know the word you're saying, but I keep thinking they're all named Megan.
You don't fucking know.
Oh, that could very well be.
But
nope, that is not what I wanted. Okay, picked the wrong thing. That's too happy for where you're going.
A library?
Mage library, right?
This is
Oh,
the
there it
dark
is.
library that all the students tried to sneak into to read the forbidden content.
I mean, she'd probably start with the general library first, even though it's likely it doesn't have anything she needs.
As you enter into the library space, you're from Golmota. It's a big place. You're from noble stock. You've seen plenty of big palaces and palatial chambers in your time, so it's nothing about the size of it blows your mind. It might for some other members of the group. But it's large. It's not stained glass in a bright multicolored sense. It's really just kind of stained a light. The colors vary based on the houses. There's red, blue, and yellow tinted ones in different areas. Kind of faint. Some images of the heraldry of the three fraternities. Images of a salamander, a griffin, and a parrot, and scattered here and about. there are two folks at the main desk. One of them spots you and immediately starts heading your way. Ah, yes, hello. You must be Miss Hildegard, one of the mercenaries that's been granted access.
God, if I wasn't playing Hildegard, I'd punch you in the face. Sorry.
What you see is a probably just coming up to 4 foot tall little owlin man. Wearing long kind of monk-like robes, wings kind of perched up. Looks like a wet owl.
Oh,
Saw a wet owl.
I got you.
Oh, I thought you said
A
wet,
moist-
and I'm like, hold on.
yeah, so did
He
I.
did. He did see a wet
A
owl. I was
moist
like, oh.
owlet.
Imagine him fucking soaking wet. And
I
your
was
feathers
terrified
all
for a
let
minute
down.
because wet owls are twigs.
It's like, yes, forgive me, I just came from the bath.
Anyways, Hildegard's just got to like nod and goes, yes, I was looking to use that favor.
Yes, we were informed of your arrival by all manner of various whispers in the wind, if you will. I am Professor Dimley. I teach divination here. I happen to have free time, and I rather enjoy giving tours of this space to people who haven't seen it before.
Oh, thank you. I'm Hildegard.
Perfect. There's one other individual we have to meet, though. Kalkos over here, the librarian and clerk, though it's something of a side hustle, just a fair warning. He can be a bit brusque.
Oh no, he's a
And
teacher
looking over-
trying to be cool with the kids.
Yep. Yeah, he just talks like he's high on lithium. So, looking over at the desk, you see... wait, I actually have Hero Forges for these two. Let me pull them up.
Sweet.
Unfortunately, you can't do too much with owls yet. Talking to you now, Hero Forge, if you hear this.
Give
More
me-
owl faces, please.
Give us
Yes,
the
more owls,
owls.
please.
Give us more bird
More-
options, damn it.
Yeah, more
Birds.
birds.
Also, fix your cat faces, for fuck's sake.
Seriously. All right.
Yeah, I thought you were posting a rat person until I saw that it was supposed to be a cat person earlier.
It's not our fault that's the closest thing.
All right, so here is Dimley.
Professor Dimley.
And not holding the weapon in question in the image, but
Yeah. Squares up. He has beef with this owl.
funny you say beef, because it is a Yorick, a Minotaur. Somewhat more thin than Zeb, but they are wearing very ornate-looking silken blue robes and a pair of spectacles that are tinted blue as well. Very well decorated, very well groomed.
He's delightful.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
All right, well, fair warning. I know every placement, every tome, every page count of this place. More lives depend on that. Just kind of sniffs and chews cud for a moment. I'll know if you've been somewhere you ain't supposed to.
Oh, yeah.
She just kind of blinks at that little, like, wasn't expecting to be read to riot act immediately when she walked in. I put them back where I found them?
I ain't just talking to you. I don't trust those birds.
No.
Ravens are known to be a little too smart for their own good sometimes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about your
Just-
coworker.
I was like, oh, that's racist.
They just
I don't
look at
trust
each
them
other and
birds. No
the two of them just
offense.
look at each other for a moment and dude, really? Like, right out loud, right in front of everybody.
From my salad.
In front of my
Oh.
salad.
Right in front of my book.
She reaches up and puts a hand on both of them, and she says, I promise they have no interest in books. Unless you have stray peanuts lying around, they're fine.
No peanuts, but there are bats.
Yeah, they might eat those.
See that they don't. I like those
No.
little guys.
What was that?
I like those little guys. They eat the bugs.
She'll nod and just like glance at them, going like, "Yeah, you heard the big guy. Don't start."
Oh, I'm sure these birds mean no harm whatsoever, Dimly says, just literally half the height of this Minotaur man. Well, come. Now tell me, what exactly is it that you're searching for here? I might be able to help save some time, what with the wings and all. Kind of flutters them in a slightly showboatish way.
She's going to wince a little bit and pull off her hood, and then goes to show the scar, and she'll say, "I'm looking for anything on necrotic corruption specifically."
Necrotic work. My. That is something. Can't say I recognize that at first glance. Well, let's see what we can do. Matters pertaining to curses. I'm sure there's something we can find.
Curse?
It's definitely a valid option. I'm surprised you haven't considered it first.
No, I didn't. She just kind of looks forward to that, going like, "Why didn't I ever think of that?"
It's all right. There are many admissions that we all learned. I once didn't even know I could talk.
Just kind of squint at that, going,
What?
You didn't know you could talk? Could you elaborate?
I hatched out of an egg, and I couldn't talk when I was young, and I didn't know it. That was humor.
Oh,
Just starts shuffling without a single word further down to the corridors.
just like, what the fuck?
A human baby of the same age knows nothing.
Yeah. She just looks completely thrown off by that, but is following. The fuck do you say to that?
I think Johnny Bravo put it best. You're a weird little freak.
So, as you are led down, you've been given free clearance to look here until morning, if you please. You have a full day's worth of time. After that, of course, we're going to have to go back to being a bit more watchful. We'll have to make sure that everything is tightly accounted for, especially from what Ruben told me of things potentially wearing other people's faces.
That's understandable. Thank you for your time, sir.
It's all any of us really have. It's valuable, but I like making sure it goes to good causes. Now then, let's see what we can find about curses and other various maladies. It might help. Oh, yes. It might help if I learned a bit more about the foundational circumstances. Tell me, how did this trauma befall you? Give no details, please. I need thoroughness than the thoroughness of my own search.
She just takes a deep breath, like, "Okay, telling this to a stranger."
I'm also a guidance counselor.
I mean, you work at a school.
Well, now I jump out the line. Just kidding. Just deep breath. Well, I was an adventurer with a party, and we would routinely clear out some of the crypts and graveyards up that way, and there's never anything interesting. There's just zombies, skeletons, maybe a ghoul, but we're smart enough to take those out first.
Yes, wise.
And like, it was easy work, as but then something we didn't expect happened. It was another undead. It didn't terribly unique, but it began casting spells and targeted one of my friends with a blast, and I stepped in the way and kind of roiled inside me, and it withered me.
I see. And these are the visible effects of that. I'm guessing the birds happened later. You're clearly seeing through them. Familiars, rare thing being able to command more than one.
Yes, I never heard of it either. As she's okay, I got to roll a die to see if she actually says that she used to be else.
Mm-hmm.
All right. She looks like she's about to say something and then kind of clams up. Yes, they happened later. I wasn't expecting to need or use a familiar.
Interesting. Well, I know that must have been a difficult story. Thank you for sharing. It will help, I promise, in some manner. I hope that it allows me an easier expediency in locating things. I've dealt with people with unusual magical abilities many times. Something of a specialty of mine. Divination, it's easier to know what's coming when someone's about to drop a fireball in the middle of a room.
She actually looks surprised and goes, divination?
Aye.
A lot of people who specialize in that.
It's not a bit. People study it, but it's more fortune telling and the like. Actual knowledge and ability of it's almost sorcerous in nature. In many ways, it's more something you can't entirely control. Why, I'm tutoring one right now, one-on-one. I'm due to meet her not long after this. Wonderful child. A little spacey, though.
Oh, teacher like student. Doesn't say that, obviously. She goes,
Between you and me, she's kind of weird.
Owls, the notoriously spacey bird.
bites her lip, doesn't comment on that, just goes, well, I'm happy you're giving me your time.
Of course. Now, let's see what we can find, shall we? Let's look as long as we need to. I've got some things to look into now. Your accent's Golmadan, so I know to look there. Undead in that region are known for being particularly virulent or violent. It's actually a rather peaceful place, all things considered.
It was. The undead there were pretty minor. There's always missions to clear them out. There's not a lot, but if you ignore them, they build up after a while.
That they do. Doesn't happen much here. It can, especially during the winter, during the night of the red moon.
I didn't know that.
Oh, it's usually nothing. They can't get inside the walls very easily. We're all busy erecting wards so that the students can celebrate the water feast.
Oh, well, that's good. And pauses and goes, what is the water feast? I hope this isn't anything like water hunger.
Oh, no, nothing like that. They not the Feast of Floods. It's a common occurrence, I guess. Might make a bit more sense there. Yes, it's the day the plane of water comes closest to our own. Golmada, I'd imagine it's not the strongest effects, but here, well, it's like the ocean comes alive and starts floating overhead.
I've at least heard a little bit about that.
Most folk at least honor it. It's a very important day. It's the high point of winter. Only thing is that come nightfall, the moons turn red. Everyone knows what happens then. That's when the nasty things start to come out.
Yes.
Anyways, let's see what we can find. So, I will need you to roll a D100 for me.
Oh, fantastic. Yeet.
36, not bad.
Mhm.
Let's roll for Mr. Owlboy.
Damn near average.
Close. All right. Your search drags into the afternoon and then into the evening. Most of what you find is pretty common knowledge treatises, a few books on various kinds of undead. None of them particularly match what you saw. Books about some manners of curses, ones that have individual traits of everything that's happened, but nothing that matches everything. A couple of books about familiars and their natures. Raug and Laug seem very interested in that one.
She would like leave the book out for them to, if they wanted to.
They're just mostly looking at the pictures.
Which does fuck with her own trying to look through books because it's like all she can see is the familiar book now. It's like, that was a terrible idea, but oh well.
All right. So, as you go on, you've not had too much luck. The sun is beginning to set. You see a Kalkos, the Minotaur librarian, walk forward carrying a little tray. He's got little mugs and tea pitchers, and it's like, you've been given clearance to go all night. Just letting you know I am about to shut the place down for students.
Thank you, sir.
Here. He just slides this. Southern herbs. Keep you up a while.
Oh. Tea?
Of a sort. Not from any kind of tea plants you know.
Oh, okay. All the same, thank you very much.
Pleasure. See? Just looks at the birds for a moment. With this, the glasses reflecting sunset light off of them, Alexander Anderson style for a moment.
She'll say, God, don't worry, I won't let them have any.
Something ain't right about those birds. Just kind of mutters and walks off. You'll have to forgive him. There have been some pigeon problems. He's got some biases.
Yeah, I guess it's understandable.
Books are all that matters to the folks like him. I
It
mean,
is
it's a bit of a twofold job, really, but certainly I'm happy to have someone from the Sapphire Citadel around when you need them. They have their uses, even as magic users can't entirely meet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. I wouldn't have thought there's much a well-prepared mage couldn't do.
And there's plenty of things specifically designed to target us. They learn all kinds of specific things there. You know that wearing has cobalt woven into it. For some reason, magic is repelled by it.
It's just fascinating.
Don't know too much. He's holed up tighter than something very tight.
God.
Just gonna reach out, just give him a light pat, like you tried.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about something for later.
That's
Well,
no problem.
I'm good
head-
for a while. Just sips the tea. I've got nowhere else to go. I can postpone my appointment for the time being.
Oh, you don't need to do that. I have my bearings at the library. If you need to go somewhere, please do.
Roll a dice for this puller right quick. Oh, all right. Hmm. Well, graduation is approaching. Suppose I'd best make some sorts of efforts for things.
Oh, thank you for all your help, Professor Dimsley.
If you need any more, well, you know where to find me. Actually, wait, no, you wouldn't. I usually say that to students. You don't know where my office is.
No, I don't.
If you need help, Calcos knows where to find me. He flares up
Okay.
his wings and just starts fluttering off.
She'll give a little wave, and then take a sip of tea, making sure the birds not get any. She's never seen them on caffeine. She don't.
I'd rather not know that one.
Are they
That's
doing the
good.
cat thing where like they're trying to stick their head inside? You'd have to like push them away.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're leaning in out of frame slightly every time you drink, and every time you stop drinking, they lean back.
Yeah. She just puts something over the teacup so they can't just dip their beaks in.
The tea is interesting. It definitely has a kick to it. It's actually almost spicy.
It's interesting, almost like a cinnamon tea.
Yeah. But it definitely perks you up. It's like any exhaustion, any stiffness is gone.
All right, she's ready to go, and she
All
just
right.
gives them a pat, like, all right, boys, just give it another go.
All right. Another D100 for me.
Ready?
Whoa.
There we go.
Fucking tea did its job.
You goddamn.
That is excellent.
Hildegard
Okay.
just pounds the shit. Let's go!
Smashes the teacup on her forehead.
Shoots it like a shot glass, slams it down. Let's fucking go.
Just energy coming out of your eyes, and you just start leaping up onto bookshelves, scampering around like a chimp.
It's a terrifying image, actually.
You
Well,
do look like something out of The Exorcist, so yes.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose a chimp in the library is marginally better than a orangutan in the library.
Marginally. All right, so you were pointed in the right direction before. And with dimly gone and feeling a little bit less, like someone's watching you, you wander in on a few different corridors and halls, just looking for anything with any tomes that look particularly old, anything strange. Interestingly, Raug manages to find something up on a high shelf.
Oh.
They start fluttering around with dimly gone, and they're strangely more active in aiding you in the pursuit of the search with him gone.
No one's watching. They can act out.
A little bit.
Yeah, she's going to find like a stepping stool or one of those little ladders or something, and
There are ladders, yes.
and climb up and just go. What do you have here?
Just kind of pecks out of the leather a little bit and kind of trying to pull it out, but then just looks down at his own wing slightly unfurled and I do not have thumbs.
She's just gonna pick it up. Well, thank you. Let's see what this is. Go back down the ladder, find some place to dust off the book and open it.
All right. You managed to find, Laug managed to find a book on something that at first catches you off guard. It is a detailed botanist's encounter of what is known as the grave groves of Western Golmada.
Huh. She just kind of squints like going, this is odd, but maybe there's something in here. Just pop open the book and start look at the index for starters, see if there's anything.
Yep. It is, I wouldn't say it's too much of an index. It looks very clearly like a centuries-old thesis from a somewhat stiff writing style professor
Yeah, she
of
reads
some
like
kind.
a sentence, and her somehow her old white is fog over, and just like, oh god, this is gonna take a minute.
Reading in, it does get a little more interesting once you realize a little more about what it's about. But it begins to talk about how there are many forests scattered around this continent of Rudauer that are very old and a bit unusual. During certain seasons, the leaves take on colors that the rest of them really don't, even can't. While most would take on bold reds, green, yellows, oranges, eventually all fading to brown, these ones turn to cooler colors. Some turning more of a teal shade, some more lavender, some much more vibrant, saturated things. The leaves usually are kind of like sassafras. Each type of tree can grow very different kinds of leaves to where they're not all uniform. Says not many know the history, but my time with the Furbolgs has educated me as to the true nature of these bizarre forests. These are not just places of nature, far from it. They are glamoured places and places of death. You learn a very interesting bit of very ancient history about a war the Furbolgs waged thousands of years ago against invaders from another world.
All right, damn.
It's conjectural very heavily, but you learn that these beings seem to be made of nature itself, which made it very difficult for the Furbolg to battle them and had to request aid from the various other peoples, the dragons and so on and so forth, to dispatch them. They did drive them away, but one of the stranger things about them is that when they died, their bodies took root, and their soldiers all had saplings sprout from their remains that couldn't be felled by normal means. And these saplings would grow into forests of strange, weird wood. That was what the Gerbil usually referred to them as.
Weird spell with a Y, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You learned that while these forests were typically no different and no less dangerous than any other, certain times and circumstances, if the forests were big enough, every single one was essentially the mass grave of fallen soldiers. And if there were enough of them, and they'd gone particularly disturbed, the spirits of the fallen could manifest through the trees. Ancient, highly skilled warriors, wielding magic from another world that very few could understand, that tended to warp and twist things beyond their intended nature.
Not liking how weirdly coherent this is sounding. She's just being put on edge as she's reading.
Loud just kind of hops over and looks at you.
Just gonna kind of look over at Loud, goes, I'm assuming you're trying to indicate there's action?
Calls at you, kind of pecks. Starts to peck at the side further into the book at one of the pages.
She will move to that page.
As you flip to it, you notice he is trying to rip it out of the book. Very quickly.
Just grabs the bird like a hamburger.
All right, make a athletics check or acrobatics of your choice,
Hold bird like hamburger.
because he is going to try and fight you on this.
She is slightly more athletic than she is acrobatic, so let's go with that.
I had to control myself. It's just like Vietnam. The trees are whispering.
Got a 13 for athletics.
All right, and let's see. What is the strength score of a raven again?
Not much. You probably better go in for acrobatics.
Yep.
You want me to roll that, or
Okay. I did roll it, and he got a dirty 20.
Oh my god.
Dirty little fuck.
Yep. So as
bastard?
you grab him, you unintentionally pull the page completely free of the spine, and he just immediately starts eating it.
Oh my god.
Oh, this is hilarious. She's gonna try and grab the page out of his fucking beak.
Why
Okay.
can't you be like this when you need to take your meds?
All right, roll athletics again.
Punch that bird in the gut.
No. Alright. Motivated by adrenaline. Nope. She flails.
Yeah. God, he beat you again. You rolled an 8. That page is gone.
She,
Just looks at you very much in a "you want some fuck" kind of way.
You want some?
she just looks down at this for the first time. She's wondered about strangling him. Just both
Hildegard
hands.
grabs and throttles the bird. I'm fine with wearing an eye patch.
You watch your own vision get dark.
Oh my
Just
god.
hands go up to her face and slowly drag down, just going.
It flutters off somewhere into the library,
Oh my god.
leaving you with the other bird who's just looking at me and you in a "I'm not with him" kind of way.
You just slowly glance up and it's like, "You're not gonna make trouble for me, are you?"
No.
Deep sigh.
They really do just talk when it's dramatic or funny.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the
Jesus.
fucking librarian is walking down the hall. He stops in his tracks, his ear twitches, and just there's a disturbance in the force.
That's actually exactly what happens, yes.
Luckily, he didn't know about this book. It's on the top of some shelf somewhere. Hopefully. Anyways, she's gonna try and read the pages around the ripped page, see if she can glean any context.
All right, you find the pages around. You recognize some of the names. The spelling's a little different, but it's the name of the city you're from.
Oh.
You realize it's the name of a lot of familiar places, and you realize the writer is talking about that same forest you were in.
So it was a list of locations, basically.
It was going into details about every single one of the ones encountered and described and what made them especially unique. Not much in the way of it. Talked about how the pine cones were kind of shaped like ears.
Eh.
A little longer than it needed to, and then going on about how this place has a strange, aberrant nature to it. It's a little different from the others, as though something is suppressing it from attaining its full, bizarre nature compared to most I've seen. Perhaps it has something to do with, and as you get to that point at the bottom, that's where it cuts off.
Wow.
Just massages her temp. And she's gotta try and read the page behind it and see if there's anything else she can glean or.
Now, flipping ahead to the next page entirely. You don't find anything particularly enlightening. The descriptions continue, but it's clear that you're supposed to know something on the previous page.
Yeah.
To understand the exact context. Something in that forest that they encountered that you have no memory of is responsible for this forest being strange and a little more dangerous. Speaking of how the spirits here can be particularly aggressive. I barely survived my own encounter with them.
She can't remember anything like, except for the one undead they counted, anything like outrageously different in anywhere in those lands.
Mm-hmm.
And
And not long after that, it moves on to another forest and another chapter.
just slowly closes the book for a minute.
You just Raug just kind of Laug just hops up and just starts nuzzling up against you a little bit.
Just absentmindedly just gives him some little scratches under the deck, and just tired and exasperated. It's just like that drive of, oh, we found something, and it's gone. It just, even with the tea, it's just kind of sapping her energy a bit.
Good time, my sweet. And the raven takes off.
That was Rogue this time.
Yep.
Just, she's gonna, breathe heavily for a second, fight not to hyperventilate, and just slowly just put her forehead on the table and just. Okay.
That better not be a rip page.
Minotaur standing in the doorway. If what I think happened, it better not have happened.
She's not even gonna lift her head from the table. She just goes, pick up the book, raise up, goes, I found this book on top of the shelf. I don't even, it's cataloged.
Oh boy. Yeah, this guy doesn't seem all that relevant to what you need. Hold on.
It was a very dry read.
Yeah. Informative if you're ever wandering through one of those places, though you're going to learn about every hypothetical before you get to the one that's actually important to you. Of course. Yeah, I remember this. Not too well. It's been a long time. This book is, dusty.
Yes, I had wondered why it was on top of the shelf rather than organized.
Interesting. You know, your bird ripped out a page containing a pretty detailed illustration.
He's like, one, he already knows, then B, this fucker might know something. Slowly lifts her head from the table, turns to look at him.
You can't look at him. Your birds aren't here.
She can hear roughly where his voice is coming from.
Fair.
Like she's her like where her eyes are pointed is probably off in some fucking corner somewhere.
Looking like the saddest little blorbo.
You wouldn't happen to remember what that was, would you?
Not crystal clear, but it's my job to remember what's in here. Yeah, some kind of stone monument of some kind in the middle of the woods. Not sure exactly what. I don't really remember much beyond that, but that's what the image is of. Couldn't replicate it if I tried, just that it was big and stood out, and I think looking at the page, yeah, writer did not like the vibe it gave off.
Well, I'm sorry for the damage done. Okay. Is there any way I can repay that?
This is a very old and somewhat priceless book that has not been looked at in 300 years. Just the very act of it being open probably made it happy enough, even if it got mutilated.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, understanding the way tomes are meant to be understood is kind of my purpose. It's hard not to get attached to the things on a personal level.
Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I neglected this one for a while. Lucky I remembered this at all. Well, so he just kind of wheels the ladder over and starts walking over to put it away. Did you find any answers?
I thought I did for a minute.
Well, you must have pulled this book out for a reason. What
I
drew you
didn't-
to it?
I
Oh,
actually didn't see it. They did.
Pushes the book back into the tome. That doesn't read as weird to you? Thought familiars are supposed to obey orders without question, but there's will in their eyes.
They
Lot of
obey.
it.
They obey, but they're I don't want to say people, but they're beings unto themselves. And I probably don't have as tight a leash as most who keep familiars. I don't think I want one. They're very valuable friends to me.
I can understand that. He just pulls up a chair from across the other side of the table and sits down. So, you understand what you're saying implies, right?
Maybe.
I'll walk you through it. You look frazzled. You say your
What
birds found a book just so it could rip a damn page out containing an illustration of something. Eating it, I'm assuming, because I don't see anything ripped up anywhere around here.
Well, one of them found it, and then the other one was pointing out the page right before he ate it. Individuals.
If you don't mind my saying, you should be very careful. I've seen this sort of thing before. These are warning signs of some very dark powers. I don't know what afflicted you, if it's responsible for the birds or not.
They aren't. They came long after.
Oh, fuck's sake. Kind of sits back. That's some dark magic you've unintentionally made dealings with.
She's
Jesus.
gonna wince. Just gonna wince at that. She's actually going to break down and say, it took my magic, left me blind.
You sure it was it that did that to you?
Some undead, something hit me, and I couldn't feel a connection to my magic anymore.
There ain't no undead alive that can do that. Or otherwise.
No one did.
Think you might need to get your memories checked, kiddo. 'Cause I think you're remembering a few things wrong. I know how undead work. It's my job to know as much as I can. Ain't none of them can do shit like that. The things that can,
Are
they're
you
the
sugge-
kind that wrote the rules in the olden days.
Oh, she's gonna just shiver a bit of that and say, well, thank you for the warning. They have been nothing but supportive and helpful to me, at least until this moment.
Then there's some they didn't want you to know. At least not yet. But you're clearly valuable to something. Or someone. that sort of magic don't always end well. Those sort of tales tend to end with losing things you can't get back.
It's a very long list at this point.
All the more reason to be wary. Because you always think you're running out of stuff to give up, but you ain't.
You know, deep breaths, deep inhale, and just. Oh. Is there any advice you could give me?
Be wary. Whatever it is can probably hear me. I do know that if it wanted you dead or something simple, wouldn't have healed you, wouldn't have given you the birds.
It didn't heal me. It gave me back some of my magic and gave me the ability to see. I think whatever happened is a little bit ability to heal, at least I ever talked to was confident about it.
If there was anything else I knew, I might be able to provide more information, but right now all I got is just be careful. Guard what's precious to you. Try to keep what we're talking about on a need-to-know basis.
Understood. Thank you very much.
Of course.
And if there's something I can do for you, sir, I would.
Well, if you ever happen to find another copy of... you ever happen to find another copy of that book, send it to me.
Okay.
I doubt you will, but all I can ask is the impossible.
She's going to nod and look just a little more determined, because I will certainly look in every bookshop I run across.
Yeah. I suppose that'll do then. Go get some rest and wrangle those little rats.
She's gonna glance at the book to, like memorize the title.
Mm-hmm. It is. I will DM it to you.
Heidi.
It is a long title. You could see exactly why nobody picks it up.
Christ.
This person really, really needed an editor.
Is it a Chuck Tingle title?
I mean, it's as long as one.
Right. And the birds return to you as you get up and start walking. They just seemed like they were high up in the rafters.
She's gonna glance at them both, and as she's walking, you're making way to that library. She takes a deep breath. No dessert for either of you.
They just kind of shrug of sorts and fly down to your shoulders.
And if you're lucky, that's just for tonight.
You hear Rogue saying, "Oh, come on, that's not fair. I didn't even do anything. He started it."
Deal.
Deal.
All right. And with that, nowhere else. It is now past sunset. It is nightfall. Snow is coming down. What do you do?
I guess head back to the. Hildegarde's gonna head back to the end or hold up, because that's the only thing she could really think of.
Yep, head back to the guild hall. Somewhat busy. They're merchants, and you actually notice a few students are there a little bit now. Not many of them, just some of them are asking questions. looking around a little bit. Some of them are, as you walk in, I'd say everybody would be back by now. You'd be the last one to arrive.
Yeah, 'cause you spent forever looking at that damn book.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, she's just gonna slide in with the others. Just little wave.
Well, it's about time you got back.
Sorry, the library's quite big.
How'd you go?
Good, then bad. Okay.
Is there a straight answer there?
No,
Of course not.
sorry.
Vesk, you better share what you have to share before I leave.
Okay, so we went and paid a visit to the
I'm the
captured
photos here, right?
Reich.
I'd say Anaphora is actually. Well, would you say Anaphora would have come down or declined?
Anaphora would have come down briefly and gotten something for herself and Welder to eat.
Yeah, so when we see Anaphora, we try to grab her.
Yeah.
She would have waved you
On the
off.
photo. No, on the
She
photo.
is She is a little singularly focused.
Yeah, but yeah, the photo it's important.
Now, if you really want, I could use the telepathic bond and she could just stay in the conversation and go up.
Yeah,
Forced into group chat.
She looks harried
gentle.
and a little irritated.
Gentle hand on her shoulder. The photo. I know you are busy, but we learned some distressing news that
I will
think
be
you
brief.
hear.
If you can hurry about it.
Yes, so went and spoke to the Reich that Sam spared, and you know what? I'm going to do this telepathically, and so I don't want people overhearing us. So telepathically, Vask will explain. We went to met with the surviving Reich members in the prison, and or where they're keeping them, and while I'm not proud of what I did, I'm somewhat glad I probed a little bit deeper into the blind woman's mind, as turns out they were sent to find Esther, and if they could not convince her to come with them, they were going to kill her, which honestly tracks with what we thought already. But they consider her a dangerous person to the Reich because she exists in contradiction to the prophecy Einar foretold the judges. You know, the 6 highest ranking elder warriors of the Reich, and they don't know what she is. They don't think she's a scion at all, but some sort of false one, and that if she's allowed to run unchecked, she could bring ruin to the world, you know. And blind cleric, if she's not released come spring, she's been talking telepathically to one of the judges, and he will come personally once the town thaws out.
There's the telepathic equivalent of ... from Garm.
Garm is typing.
That guy is typing.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
as like Vask was delivering that telepathically, people could tell he's feeling guilty about how he got this information, but he's not.
Yeah,
He's not stopping back.
That she does not deserve your remorse.
No, it is my remorse for myself. It is something I haven't done in years, but this is desperate circumstances.
Anyone she deserved it. It was her. The others like her.
There's a
It wasn't
brief
like
flash
the
of.
captain.
There's a brief image of just flames that he had seen, and he goes, "Trust me, if she wasn't, if her death wouldn't bring the entire Reich on us, I would have killed her myself."
You see her body visibly, like muscles visibly clenched, and her
Yeah,
for a second,
he
her
didn't
face.
he didn't mean to let that out. It's kind of
Yeah, yeah. But and her face for a second gets visibly angry. before she closes her eyes, takes a breath.
That is concerning, to say the least.
Yes, I definitely want to share this information with Sam and Ruben.
I will find them. And she stands up and turns to leave.
And remember, this only lasts an hour.
Yeah.
If that's everything, I need to get back upstairs. Walder is running a very high fever.
Go.
Be sure to give him the poultice I made for you. He should help.
He bites, and she's going to back upstairs.
You're supposed to put it on their skin.
Yeah,
When,
basket. You just share. It's like it's a topical thing.
I didn't say I was giving it to him to eat.
Dragon Age Origins, where you just chug poultices.
when Nat leaves, she slams the door, and I'm gonna roll to see how hard she slams it. If that's right, maybe.
Sure, yeah. Roll athletics, absolutely.
That
12, okay.
fell. All right, not as bad as it could have been.
12,
It's hard,
12,
but
12.
oh my god!
12!
No!
I
Haunted!
wish I had thaumaturgy just to fling the door back open.
God. So
Brazier is just
as
like,
you
stop.
swing it,
Sorry, the
you swing it and you forget that it's like a saloon door and it just kind of swings back. It's loud and everyone noticed. It's more just a groaning though, and a little bit of snow falls. Just whatever. You just keep walking.
Yeah,
at least it didn't slap you on the ass.
That's you put him in the Nat one.
Yeah, no, that would have been the entire roof's contents of snow fall on top of you.
She leaves. Do I know where Sam and Esther were staying?
Esther's back at the college. As for Sam, you're not entirely sure. For the moment, Esther's still kind of being watched. They're not 100% sure what's happened or if it's over.
Alright. When was the last place I saw Sam?
I'd say, have you been to the root cellar at all since this all?
Honestly, this is probably going to be the first time she goes there.
Last time you saw him would have been at a bow barrow when you first got back. He stayed for a
Okay.
little bit, and he did tell you that if you needed to find him, the root cellar was the place to meet.
Okay, then she's going to the root cellar.
Yep.
She's visibly in a bad mood. She's stalking.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you enter in.
Are you in here?
Saw you glowering from halfway down the city limits, honestly. So yeah.
Good. I hope whatever that thing is saw it too. So it knows what's coming.
Yeah. Really hope so. The fact that it hasn't attacked anything. How much did you tell Sam? Specifically in the aftermath of anything. There weren't too many opportunities for privacy, but
Told Sam that Nern was killed by the Red Ooze. Didn't go into the specifics of that because, as far as anyone else knows, Nern just disappeared. So they killed that ooze, but there's more to it.
all right.
So that's about what she's given in detail in regards to that.
Okay. I've come back here to check on the place a little bit while you were out searching. Best I could do.
Is all the stuff still here?
It is left exactly as it was the last time you were here, and the last time Anaphora came here, funny enough.
Yeah. I'm going to check this room. I don't think there's anything there, but I need
His
to.
belongings are still there. I didn't touch any of them. I didn't know any that were important. I didn't know him very well, but I am sorry.
He was a good man.
He was. People like him are about as brave as they get.
And about as rare.
That's the truth of it.
You know there are changelings, a lot other changelings in the college, right?
Yeah, I'm aware.
Some of them, I wouldn't be surprised if those were some of his clientele. But
Oh,
it
they
wasn't
were.
just them either.
They were. Most of them. Not everyone at the college knew about him, though. I didn't
No,
all that right away.
I don't even know when they went have gone missing.
Well, do you need a little help looking around?
I wouldn't, she clears her throat. I wouldn't mind.
Hey, you saved Esther. As far as I'm concerned, I owe you my life, man.
She looks down at him. Because
Yep.
Yeah, speaking of saving Esther's life,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
probably
baby.
be prudent to tell him about the super Nazi coming.
Yeah. Alright, I'm happy for her still. Vask, we went to see the Reich who were locked away. The Reichman captain, he had letters on them to his sister. I went to try and find out who she was. He seemed like as good as they come in the Reich.
I've met folk like that. Once I didn't know any better, it's true just about everywhere you go. I'm fully aware of the complex politics involved. Heard it all shouted at me.
Well,
There's a reason I didn't kill all of them. Let's just say that.
he should have killed the cleric.
I would have if she was there, believe me.
The cleric is in contact with the judge, with one of the judges telepathically.
He actually shifts back to his real form for a second.
Oh,
Just
damn.
lurches, then goes back. Do you know which one?
I don't know the specific one, but he said that if she's not released, they're going to come with the fall to get them.
He might be waiting. Boy, that complicates things.
There's
I
more.
didn't-
They were sent her, and if they couldn't get her, they were going to kill her.
That I
There's
knew. That's obvious.
there's a prophecy.
That I've all heard.
You've heard about the prophecy by Ilmar?
Yeah, I've had it preached at me by multiple people thinking they were about to kill me.
And that she is not a part of it?
That was what we were trying to figure out.
They don't think she's a scion, Sam. They
She's
think
got
she's
all...
something else.
Well, I don't really consider the monster that burned down my hometown, killed my mother, and chased us halfway across the world much of a scion either. So I guess our definitions just differ.
Yeah.
Fair warning, if one of them is crossing the border with the thaws, be careful. They are psychopaths, every single one of them.
And then I will kill every single one of them.
They do.
That's
kind of-
valiant. That's
What?
valiant. That's valiant. But the one I have encountered with the closest fought a dragon one-on-one and almost beat it. If it wasn't for a second dragon coming in, he would have killed it. Just know your limits here.
That's too bad. For them. She pulls out her little flask and, tosses it back.
There is a difference between jaded, I've lost everything, and being.
This isn't the first time that the closest thing I had the family was killed.
Well, yeah, well,
There were other changelings.
yeah.
There was a man in plate mail. On fire underneath it.
Oh shit.
He found us. I don't. You know who he is?
You and I have an enemy in common.
What's his name?
He's the worst of them. Judge Cabral.
Could you spell that?
Gabral.
Gabrael.
Just A-L, no E.
Okay. Thank you. Where do I find him?
He wanders. He's appeared in a lot of places, and he has a real knack for tracking down prey. He came after Esther when we were kids. Burned down my whole town to do it. Barely got away because another changeling was there, a trained assassin who killed him. Until he came back the next day. Yeah. That's why I said, know your limits here. Ionar's a wicked thing. I know it. But the power it wields is real. Those judges can't die as long as Ionar wills it. You can set them back for a little while.
There has to be some way.
You kill a god.
If it is a god and not some kind of fell spawn or other monstrosity that is masquerading as one.
Even still, that's a lot of power to put on a mortal. Scions, no less. Either way, Cabral tailed us for years. The changeling that I was traveling with, he was something of a mentor in a way. Taught me a lot, taught me how to kill. And then betrayed me and killed Esther while wearing my face.
Oh, her face goes like slack and like jaw drops.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, I know. Turns out he was a North Wind guy and he was trying to recruit me, thinking I was promising. He did not count on the fact that I was attached to her. As much as I was. And I barely managed to get out of it alive, but I killed him. He taught me well. And ever since, it's just been being on the run. Cabral was on my tail for years. Because, well, ironically, he killed Cabral wearing my face the second time. So he held it personally, and he's not the man that listens to reason.
This face or your true face?
Both. It was a pretty deep cut.
I'm sorry, son. You do understand.
Yeah. I do. I do. Nern deserves better than this. Just looking around this little dingy space. Gotta figure something out. Really, really tired of only remembering changelings without a word or anything. Too many of them go and no one talks about them.
Or they're happy they're gone.
Yeah. Come on, let's search the place.
Yeah.
So you can roll investigation if you choose. Sam will give you aid if you like.
I would appreciate that. Oh wait, effectively, the advantage button, so let's roll it again.
All right,
17.
17. All right, not bad. All right, looking around, you find some of Nern's keepsakes, a couple of bound up tubes containing scrolls, some correspondences with a few other fences and contacts in other parts of the world that were he was helping smuggle changelings in and out with.
Oh my gosh.
In the way of personal belongings, there were many. He had some good bottles of wine stored away. You don't find any new traces of that whatever it was that took him. If you didn't know any better, you were expecting the way it all looks, just as it was left, you'd expect him to walk through that door in a few seconds.
How did it be him so perfect? How did it just come in and take his life?
I really don't know, and I'm afraid of finding out.
Did I know him so badly?
Knowing people takes trust, and you never really know if someone trusts you or not. Unless you get, like, corroborating witnesses, but they could be lying too. You could spend your whole life never trusting a single soul. That's for kids. It's for lonely people who die alone.
I don't know if I can trust anyone, Sam.
I mean, you seem like you're getting along pretty good with the group you're with. All things
They
considered.
saw my face and didn't rat me out, so it's something. But
That's better than most of us ever get. I've got the same thing. They're waiting on me when we get out of here.
more besides us there.
Yeah, a couple of us. They said in correspondence time we talked they've got something pretty big waiting for us down south, a big lead. Not sure what exactly yet, I have to hear him out. He's a little sparing with messages. But I owe them all, both of them my life. If you get the chance, I'll introduce you.
I suppose that would be nice. Picks up a bottle of wine. Stares at it really hard.
You know, forget it.
No. What is this, Sam?
That's just funny thinking about it. That's all, just...
Come on out with it.
I'm trying to remember the train of thought literally just left my head.
No. Isn't this funny? Oh.
Honestly, I'm not sure anything's really funny at all.
No. It's
It's
of
just...
all the people to be completely subsumed and their place completely taken perfectly. It was a changeling.
Yeah. That is strange. So, as far as you know, rest of your group's all human?
She pauses. I don't know that. They're not. I don't think they're changelings, but I'm not. I don't think they're all human. Not anymore, anyway.
Interesting. Well, they saw you. They didn't say anything. What do you intend to do when all this is done?
Keep living my life, I suppose.
That's the obvious answer, and also not really an answer at all. You know what I mean. Look, I speak brooding, lone wanderer in a corner who's got
I want to
baggage fluid
find the
like.
thing. I want to find it and kill it. I want it to suffer like it made Nern suffer. I want to find a way to kill the Reich. I want them all dead.
Yeah, I definitely understand that.
I don't have anything else.
Well, you might need to find something. Trust me, I am all for my entire life purpose. For several years was getting rid of them, making them hurt. They took Esther from me. Almost did it again. And then I got her back. Suddenly, that void was not empty anymore, and I had no fucking idea what to do.
Nern's not coming back.
No.
He's not
Everyone's...
magic and immortal.
No.
I'm glad you got back. I'm not trying to down.
I'm not either. I'm just saying. I didn't realize until I got her back just how much it ate at me. How much of me I was just throwing away to it. I literally had sense beaten into me by, funny enough, a furbolg.
I'd like to meet a fireball.
He'll probably see right through you immediately or think you're related.
Yeah, probably. I chose this phase very specifically because most people have never seen a Thorbolg, or if they have,
Yeah.
they don't know much about them. Maybe a Thorbolg can change their face, sort of.
Yeah, though he doesn't do it. Doesn't want to.
Yeah.
He walks around openly, says where he's from. Everybody just didn't care. Doesn't see why he has to care now. It's funny. He insists that he is some kind of magical chosen one. It's the stupidest shit. He insists that he was born under some sign of the stars to seek out some great evil and slay it, and he thinks the Reich is it. He thinks INR is it, and that's why he's following me.
Most to say is wrong.
I mean, I kind of hope so, because I'm not going to lie, he kind of kicks ass in a fight.
Maybe he's right. I mean, your best friend. What is your Esther?
Yeah.
She's something. She is something special, even among other scions. Who's to say you haven't attracted somebody whose goal in life and gift or calling or whatever it is to destroy the Reich?
Yeah. It's possible, but I don't know. And there's a real good chance we could die trying. We almost did. In fact, the first time he met Gabral, he thought he could strike him down in one blow because he'd done it so many times to so many different things. And then it didn't work, and he had a crisis of faith for 4 days. Got really pathetic. Rallied, came back around. But it was,
Having your worldview shattered is not an easy thing to come back from.
no, it is not. It was his first time. Well, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your time, but if I ever come back here, I don't want to find you dead inside of this cellar. You got power, you got skill, you got a good sharp mind. You're probably older than me, but you remind me a lot of myself in that. I just,
I appreciate.
if you want to make the
Yeah.
right hurt, you're not going to make him hurt here. And if you're going to seek out whoever the culprit was, you might find him here, but when you find them and you get that done, you're going to feel so empty, you're going to feel worse than you did the moment he died. It's not going to be immediate. It's going to sink in like a snake bite.
I can't. She's like visibly having trouble putting her thoughts into words.
I think we've outsearched this place as much as we can. If you need anything, I
She
do owe
holds
you.
up the bottle of wine. I want you to take this and drink it so I don't.
He reaches up, just takes it very awkwardly and just puts it aside. All right then.
Share it with us.
Pretty sure she's too young. I'm pretty sure she's too young for this.
Who gives a fuck? She's died more than once. She deserves a fucking drink.
I was joking, but okay, sure. Project some anger onto me, I guess. Clearly need to.
Sorry. That's how we got close, you know. I got very drunk. I got so drunk I nearly walked into a bar with my real face on.
Classic blunder.
Yeah. I don't think I would have lived past that night if it weren't for him catching me.
Oh. All the more reason to commemorate him in some fashion. I'll think of something. I'll get back to you about that. It's a long winter. I got nothing else to do right now.
Yeah.
Just give thought to what I said, please. Bitterness is a mire, and it will drown you. And believe it or not, when you're really close to death, your first thought isn't, I wish I drank more.
You're wise beyond your years, Sam.
Had to be.
Yeah, we really do, don't we?
Yep. Sucks. Such is the changeling way, I guess. Though I was raised by a human, so I didn't even... God. My mom found me on the roadside, a couple of dead changelings and a crying baby. Took pity, raised me, and told me that everyone was like me and that we hid our faces during the day because it was a game.
Oh. Wow, that's not.
I didn't
That's a
even
woman.
know I was a changeling until the night my mom died. And then he... God, I can't even believe the fucking irony of it. You know what the changeling called himself?
What?
Some kind of fucking test looking back on. He called himself Wick.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. When he figured out I didn't know what that meant, that was a fascinating field trip down an Imperial highway.
What the? Why would you fucking Northwind?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I didn't
Fix
know
her
any
bed.
better, man. Yeah, either way.
Good fucking riddance.
Yeah, no, I don't miss him. Glad I learned from him. He was very good at killing. He was even better at teaching.
I bet you were glad before he died.
I hope so. Either way.
No, I was actually raised in a changeling commune.
City
I
kid.
have a, huh?
City kid, huh?
Yeah. I haven't seen them. I haven't seen them since I left. I had a parent. I don't know if they were my mother or father. I don't actually know. I had an older sibling.
I'm sure they'd love to know that you're all right.
I
As
don't
you
know if
can
they
be,
would.
anyway.
I don't know that. Left with the other young kids, other changelings who thought they could make a difference. None of us came back.
Damn shame. World could use more things like that. Bigger thing you stand for, the harder the world tries to take it away from you. But you know how it. Sam just goes quiet. Oh my god.
What?
Points up at the hatch doorway, and you can just faintly see a little bit of shadow coming in through it.
I'm going to bolt at the shadow.
All right.
Fucking spend a moxie point and everything to dash.
All right, you run up the stairs at breakneck speed, bursting through the trap door. And Callie, describe yourself.
So
What?
Standing there with her fingers in her ears, is a very pale-haired, pale-skinned, pale-eyed lady, and she's just kind of staring off into the distance and humming to herself. And she notices you come out of the trap door, and she just kind of lazily turns to you and goes, "Oh, are you done?"
Who the fuck are you? And what are you doing here?
What?
What?
What? Oh, sorry, I have to take my fingers out of my ears. What?
Who the fuck are you?
Hi, I'm Vera. How's it going?
So you just see another darker skinned human face peeking up from the rim of the stairway, just looking around. You've been here a while.
Hi.
Why are you here?
I was gonna ask you a question, but you looked like you were busy, and then you started talking, and it's, rude to listen into conversations, so I plugged my ears.
You plug your ears to not listen?
You can't listen into people's conversations, that's rude.
Oh
You're
no,
a stu-
she's punished.
She looks at you like you're fucking telling her the moon is purple.
There is, she looks like she smokes pot perpetually. Her eyes are, half lit,
Oh,
just kind of looking at you, but also just kind of wandering around the room like,
Sam just kind of goes, "Oh, college kid."
does she do the out of sync
What are you-
blink?
Why
No,
are you
not quite.
here?
I was gonna ask you a question, but then you got busy.
What's your question?
So my finals are coming up, and you look like you can, tear a tree out of the by the roots, right?
Yeah, I punched through a tree the other day.
Yeah, cool. Can you help me with my final?
What?
I have to go beat up something called, and she, looks at the back of her hand. Like she's written something on it.
Looks at smudged writing on hand.
And she's just kind of squints.
to look at her ring.
A glacial behemoth? No, glacial behemoth. Yeah, that's right.
Glacial behemoth.
The fuck?
Why do you need to beat up a glacial behemoth?
I don't know.
What? I'm so. Rubs above her eyes vigorously.
Dimly just told me I had to.
Who?
The professor?
Little owlin guy.
Oh,
Yeah, him.
It's like,
He told you needed to beat up a glacial behemoth.
Uh-huh.
Why?
Oh.
Esther told me that the finals here vary from student to student. Some manner of final test about fortitude and all that. So Sam just steps up, just hands in pockets. This is interesting. So, how good are your fingers in those ears of yours?
What do you mean? Once
You
you
can't be
started
subtle with-
talking, once you started talking about things and you started having a conversation, I like shut the door. You didn't notice, and then I put my fingers in my ears and I didn't hear anything.
It's gonna insight you.
She heard
Yeah.
Jack. She heard Jack and shit.
Okay.
She was also using her third eye to just like look into the ethereal realm and see shit in there.
Literally going on a quest. All right.
Oh my god.
So,
Okay. So, wow. I didn't think people could be as honest as you. Pretty sure she doesn't know how to lie all that well. Just kind of leans over and whispers at you.
I don't really. I just
All right.
don't see the point of
I'm
it.
not.
It's kind of stupid, right?
Right.
I'm sure.
I say to
Okay.
the two changelings.
Yeah.
They both just kind of nod in unison a little bit, like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Sure. Uh-huh.
totally. Mr.
What's your
Transparency
name?
over here.
Vara.
Aha, Vera hair specs.
Vara Harris.
Questions for Esther later.
Oh,
Oh, you know Esther?
What?
Yeah,
I just helped save her life.
Tell
yeah.
her I have her book.
I'll be sure to do that. I'm gonna leave you two alone. Sam just throws the dagger and disappears and just is gone before anyone can comment.
Fucking.
She leans out the door and goes, "Bye." So yeah, is that like something you guys would want to do? I'm just supposed to hunt it. I don't know what I have to do with it, but you can have all the bits.
How do you know who I am?
I followed you.
Why did you follow me?
I just told you that you look like you could pull up a tree trunk.
So you saw me skulking through the streets and you followed me.
Uh-huh.
Were you just looking for someone big to help you fight something?
Uh-huh.
To beat. Fucking sure.
Yeah,
I'm
someone who looks like you could beat me up into a dark alleyway. What do you ask?
She's also like maybe hitting 5'2",
Oh my god.
and is
She's
built
another-
exactly like a
looking at
wizard.
You literally have to bend down to make eye contact with her.
Oh my god.
so she's a self-insert.
Oh my god.
She's
Yeah.
also very hard to make eye contact with because her eyes are hazed over.
There's the beat of silence. Fucking sure, why not? I don't have anything else specific I need to do.
Sweet. I'm gonna go get my
Um,
weasel. He's sitting at the
what?
table with your friends. They haven't noticed.
What? How do you know they're my friends, first of all?
They're sitting at the table at the guild, right?
How do you know they're my friends? Like, what?
You were talking to them,
How
right?
You've been following me since the guild?
Uh-huh. You're not very observant.
I'm very observant, thank you.
I was like right here.
I am just having a bit of a rough time, thank you.
She rolled a stealth of 10 and you didn't notice.
I didn't roll a perception!
I know, you didn't
Exactly.
notice.
My passive perception's a 13,
You
thank
didn't
you!
notice.
You didn't ask.
God damn it. I didn't ask, no.
She
I've
calls
got a
it
lot
like
on my
she
mind.
sees it.
I've got a lot on my mind, alright?
That's fair, you look very angry.
I am very... But
That's
I'm
why I
not
figured you'd
angry
like
at
to
you.
beat something up.
You were right. You ever seen the Hound's Teeth?
The what? Oh yeah, I know what those
The
are.
Hound's Teeth?
I'm supposed to
Yeah,
go to those later. And she like her eyes. She says that, and her eyes clear up, and she goes and looks directly at you and says, "I'm supposed to go to those later."
Oh.
And then her eyes haze back over and go, "It should be fine, right?"
They told me I was one of the only people who came back from the Hound's Teeth smiling, so beating the shit out of something sounds very appealing right now.
Okay. Good. Let's go get your friends.
Sure, alright.
They still haven't noticed the weasel at the table. That's really strange.
Oh, really? Alright. What's this weasel? Familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's his name? Her name? Their name?
Soccer.
Soccer?
Soccer. Means sock.
Alright.
God damn it.
Sock.
Back
sounds-
at the and Vasquez just like, all right, who keeps stealing the sausage off my plate?
Underneath the
Garm
table, there's a
stops
little war
mid-
dance going on.
Garm
tiniest.
stops mid-chew, biting through some sausage.
The door opens up. Hi guys, we have company. And so do you.
Hi, Soccer. Are you stealing sausages again?
You just see this little spastic thing that is somehow like Daffy Duck flailing around on the ground, moving towards her. It's almost too fast for the eyes to follow. And crawling up onto this extremely stereotypical wizard is a tiny little weasel.
I just like,
She,
alright, sure.
she is wearing bright white robes with a white hat that has snow on it because she was standing there for a while.
So
And-
this wizard,
Trimmed with blue.
this is this wizard, her name is Vara, right?
Yes.
She needs to beat up a glacial behemoth for her finals, and I could really use with something to punch because I didn't really get to punch the hag.
Yeah, you guys want to do that? You can have all the bits.
We can have all the bits.
Would any of us recognize what a glacial behemoth is?
You can roll a nature. Just you, though. I don't think the other two would know.
Do I know? Because I've lived here for a
Or
while.
could I do Arcana?
This would be nature.
I'm just, yeah, I'm proficient in Arcana though.
I know it.
Can,
It's like,
can
that's
I
a
roll
new,
that nature, Evie?
that is a new one. I'd say no, based on earlier reactions. This is not a known one.
Alright,
It sounds
fair enough.
made up, all frankness.
Does it? Glacial behemoth does not sound like a made-up name.
It sounds intimidating, is what it sounds like.
It sounds like the
Little.
teacher's trying to get me murdered.
Well, go
Oh,
on a snipe hunt.
right.
Only the snipe
Um,
is a demi-Tarrasque.
Yeah, we're go- do you want- is anyone up for it? I don't really. Yeah, I could use something to punch. So, do any of you want to come punch something with me?
Aw.
I think
Wanna
that's
go
me asking
punch
all of
stuff
you
or
out on a
something?
date. What?
It really did sound like you were asking people out for a
Yeah.
second there.
I
Wanna
think
go
that's me
out
asking
and,
you.
punch something.
I think that's me asking all of you out on a date simultaneously. No, she doesn't do that. So, yeah,
Stupid. It's whatever. It's okay if you don't.
Did you say-
Yeah,
Did you say that in character?
no, God,
Okay.
no.
She's so exasperated at the point she might just end up cracking jokes.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna roll a d20.
Oh no.
If it's above 10, that did just kind of slip out of her mouth. No, she
Aw.
didn't say it.
It's internal.
It's
So
internal.
Vass could hear it.
No.
we all do have the. Has it been an? If it's been
It's
less
probably
than
been
an
an
hour
hour.
since she
It's
left.
been-
Yeah,
I'd say it's been about an hour then, yeah.
yeah, because you did search the place, so that would have taken some time.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm going to go. You're all welcome to come. If not, I'll just go myself.
She does look like she could pull up a tree trunk.
Like I said, I punched through one the other day.
Just, like, just fucking staring at this mess that erupted.
She's a wizard, Hildegard.
It's
How'd you know?
I-
Look at you.
She looks at herself and goes, I don't... What?
You look like the picture of a wizard someone will put in the book.
You're wearing your house colors. You hear Rouse yell from the bar.
Just
So are
Telegram
they. They
is-
still have their cloaks on. Remember, they were given cloaks with their house colors on them.
Yeah, that's
And-
true.
we probably took the cloaks off by this point since we're inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I followed
No,
you from the college, and you were all wearing them.
Hildegard's trying to get it, trying to look at her, but she's like, "Stop it, stop it." She actually flicks both the birds and the beaks because he's staring at the fucking weasel.
Staring back.
Exactly.
It's a least weasel, so it's the meanest little fuck you've ever seen in your life.
Oh
Like,
god.
"Ah,
Unstoppable force meets immovable object.
we have rival gremlin energy. Our battle shall be a legend." She's like, "Stop." It's like,
Yeah,
she
well,
just points like both her fingers ahead, forcing them to track her fingers so she can actually look at the fucking wizard.
Her eyes are up there.
It's like- She's like, "Oh, yeah, that is very wizard."
Do you want to come?
Do we have plans?
I mean,
Looks
I
at the
wanted to
group
look
like-
at the I wanted to look at the build that building a little more, but that's not time sensitive anymore.
Yeah.
I could, after tonight and today, I could really use something to punch.
The only
Might
thing
be.
I need to do eventually is I need to talk to Ruben, but that's some personal stuff. But yeah, I do have some stress I need events, so yeah, I'll go.
I as well.
Oh, you are
Okay.
really pent up. Do you need, like, therapy?
God, you have no idea, Clara. No idea.
You shouldn't ask me because I don't have any brains. I've been told that's very often.
Yeah, well, those people who told you that should shut the fuck up.
Well, that was my mum, so.
Oh, wow. My point, you know, Clara, my point stands. You shouldn't
Vasquez,
fucking tell your kid that.
Vasquez and Nat just both. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
My
Clara,
point
my point
stands.
still
Don't
stands.
say that
Your
about my mom.
And she has this,
Your
like,
mother-
blank face. It's like, that's just normal, right? That's just what your parents
No,
do.
it's not. Your mother shouldn't fucking tell you that.
She's
Good
not
lord.
saying that out loud. That's just, like, what she
Okay.
looks like she's thinking.
Anyway, do you know where this glacial behemoth is?
I was told, like, the general area, right, baby?
No, you
No.
weren't told a single thing. You were told to figure it out.
Divinate
Dimly said
that
this is going. Dimly said this was going to require all of your skills and all of your intuition.
I was told to just figure it out. I figured getting people to help me first would be good.
All right. Hey. She goes up to the counter to the Dragonborn. Hey. Do you know what a glacial behemoth is?
Yeah, they're big and they live out near the coast. They're rare. I've never seen one. I mean, I know people in town who probably have or have more experience looking for them.
Do you know who? Someone you could go ask for like advice on how to hunt one down.
I mean,
Do
you
you
can
have
check.
a-
I mean, if you
a
really need
wizard?
knowledge on the local fauna, best place to check would be asking at the library. You could check around with the locals around town. Maybe those old hunters know something I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. I think I'll ask around town. Garm, you want to go ask those hunters? See if they have any idea.
The school has.
No, I'm trying.
If there's no one you can ask, the school has a very extensive library.
Vera, like, snaps her fingers and goes, "Damn it."
I was just there. Fuck.
Like, she doesn't sound
Alright,
upset,
um,
just like, "Oh, why didn't I do that?"
Is this time sensitive, Zara?
Your finals are due by the end of winter. That's technically when the semester ends. You'll graduate and be allowed to go about your business.
Oh shit, we cracked it. That's why winter's lasting so long. Fucker's ready.
It's like by the end of winter, and it started early, so it might end early. Winter's strange.
Well, I think we could split up. Each of us go to in there. I'll ask around town. Garm can ask the hunters. Hildegard can check the library. Vas can help one of us. Vara, you can.
I'll go to the college library.
Yeah, you can help Hildegard at the library.
Okay.
Yeah.
Garm kind of like mumbles, is like,
At first, I just needed something to do, but I'm deeply afraid this woman's gonna get herself killed otherwise.
She hears that and looks at you, and her eyes clear up, turn a darker blue, and looks directly at you, and it says in a different voice, with her face completely serious, and goes, "I've seen where I die. This isn't it." And then turns
God.
immediately back to like completely blank, completely fogged over eyes. Like, okay, so should we go?
It is kind of in the middle of the night. The library's actually closed to students. Hildegard, do you remember him telling
Yeah.
you that?
The library's actually closed at the moment. 'Cause
She
it's
She
night.
looks outside and goes, "Oh, god damn it, it is."
Well, it is pretty late.
It would be wise to wait until morning.
I suppose.
Vask is wondering if he's just gonna hear feedback if he tries to use detect thought on this wizard.
Go for it.
Or you're gonna see the fucking end of the world.
Do it.
I can taste time.
You just see the cosmos stretching out before you in infinite possibilities. Just
It's like that old vine where they put that flower on that cat's head.
Oh yeah.
You see the face of God, it is Jack Black.
I'll accept that.
I'm down.
God, alright, you don't tell me about that tomorrow. I suppose then that has to wait for the morning. You know what? Why don't we split in half? Half of us go to the hunters, half of us just ask around town, and then in the morning, we go to the library together.
Okay, what are the hunters? I want to check that out.
You know it's like
Maybe.
midnight, right? Most people are gonna be sleeping.
Is it that late now? Alright, never mind.
People
Fuck it.
sleep
Let's
at
go to fucking
midnight?
sleep. Let's go to sleep. Yeah.
I know y'all have
sleep.
been through a lot, but God, take care of yourselves. Jeez.
My sense of time has been fucked by the
Yeah.
past several days worth of things.
People sleep.
That's
at
why
midnight.
you were told to rest. But hey, you want to go hunt a monster? Be my guest. I'll even tell you what. See, I'll put open a tab for it. See if anybody's willing to pay to see that thing gone. Nobody. If you bring back proof of a glacial behemoth and you get mounted on the wall, I'll pay you for it.
Deal.
And I do not recommend going near the hunters during the wee hours.
Oh, are they naked?
We'll wait. What?
Get a little antsy, huh?
They're private people.
Nobody heard that, huh?
What was that about being naked, Vara?
I said not to go near them during the twilight hours when they're private. So, are they just naked?
No.
'Cause there's a guy in my dorm.
You
that
know
just
what Garb
does that.
says? Garb kind of thinks about it.
In a manner of speaking.
Now, first of all, I want the insight Garm's statements about not going near them in the wee hours. Oh wait, never mind. I saw them shapeshift.
You
Never
did
mind.
see one of them change,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of us did.
Yeah.
That reminds me of something that I need to deal with later. But sure, Vara, we'll deal with it. We'll start this in the morning. We'll split up to the hunters, the library, and I can go around town because I know this town probably better than anyone else in this town.
Okay, I'm gonna go to bed. You watch out for people walking up behind you. You're easy to sneak up on, and she's gonna leave.
Oh my god. I will punch.
As
I
you
think
leave,
I like her. I think I like her.
Just turns and looks. Really?
all
I know
right.
what I said.
That feels like a pretty organic stopping point to me.
Can I do one thing real quick?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
So, like, as chaos is happening, Hildegard's actually going to slide up to Vask and tap his shoulder. He goes, "Yeah, Vask, can I talk to you for a minute?"
Yes.
This is actually
Just-
perfect.
She goes, well, today I witnessed the second time someone's questioned my memories. I remember you offered to look. Should we do something about that sometime?
I mean, whenever you're ready, I can give it a try. It's
Maybe not tonight.
and yeah, and he kind of nods and he goes, I would not be up for it either. It was an effort dealing with those rake.
Yeah, I understand.
But
Sure.
when you are up to it, I would be willing to help you out, of course.
Okay.
All right, so you all depart to rest. The promise of violence in the new day and a decision to collaborate together just for the hell of it in front of you. And with that, and the rest you find, we're going to call it for the night.